What's good, YouTube? This is JNC Jib back with another video, and today we are going to be doing a Banlist prediction video. So we're headed into not headed into the Justice Hunter season, and we're moving into the Doom of Dimensions season at the end of September, which is a month away. This weekend is the World Championship, and we were promised a Banlist after the World Championship, so we are going to just make a prediction on what I think that the ban list is going to look at like. So I think that the first card that will be on the ban list that I think that nobody is kind of arguing with should be on number 67 Paradise Smasher. I think that this card should be banned. I think it's probably the most relevant card on the entire list, in my opinion, that should be banned. I think that the decks from last format have kind of phased out, not really because they're necessarily much weaker than the decks that we're playing with now, but a lot of people just are bored of them, so they're playing less Risle, less Malice. But we will talk about those two decks also, because those decks do need more hits, in my opinion, just to completely phase them out, because especially when it comes to Malice, it's a lot of toxic gameplay and it's just not fun to play against. And I think with that same notion, the K9 cards punishing you for hand trapping is already annoying, but then them just having a auto win condition whenever they feel like it, most of the time is not correct to summon this card, but people still summon it anyway, just because like the idea of having an auto win condition, like, you know, players are just going to try to go for it, you know. But yeah, I think Paradise Smasher needs to be banned. I think that the next card that should be banned is White Binder for Malice. I think banning White Binder, I think the only way to get Malice out of the format, I don't think consistency hits are enough, because the deck's engine is just so powerful. People will continue to play it even if you continue to hit the consistency. Like in the OCG, we see that Dormouse is at 1 in the deck is still extremely powerful. I think you just have to ban one of the links. I think that banning White Binder is fine, but honestly, I would prefer if they, as a Malice player, and I would say that I've been right the last two times, or the last time I talked about hits that Malice needed with the link decoder. I think that banning Red Ransom is way more impactful than banning White Binder, in my opinion. I think that Red Ransom, with the addition of Malice in the mirror, is extremely, or way more important to your actual combos than White Binder. I think the fact that Red Ransom allows for you to guarantee get 2 disruptions plus follow-up through a Fualos is incredible. Also being able to search for your Underground, which is a combo extender, also being able to banish Mirror, which then will banish another card and then search you a hair, like it's incredible. So I think White Binder or Red Ransom, either are fine. I personally think that banning Red Ransom is more impactful to the deck's actual ability to combo than White Binder. I think if you ban White Binder, the deck still functions very similarly, and it has a lot of the same toxic interactions. Like, you can still go into Red Ransom, banish it for access code, and summon 2 bodies from the deck. You can also like make Wicked, and then you can like set up lines where you go Red Ransom into Wicked, banish a guy from the graveyard under Wicked. Wicked could banish Red Ransom, and you just swarm the board with bodies there. I think that all of those things are still options if you ban White Binder. You're just gonna have to probably play all 3 traps again, just to like try to have a chance of like hard drawing one, or just have that many, or you're gonna need diverse options off of your White Rabbit depending on the situation. But I think that, yeah, I think that banning Red Ransom would do a lot. Next on the list is a card that got unbanned, then started seeing a lot of play, and I think it's time for it to be rebanned, is Protoss. I think going into this next format, Protoss is seeing like a lot less play just because of the type of decks that are in the format. But as we saw from this last 4 months, where Protoss just came into like every Risle deck and all the Mitsu decks, like every deck was playing Flag and Protoss for like a week. I think that this card doesn't need to exist anymore in the game. And it shouldn't have really came off the ban list. I don't know why they brought it back. Maybe it was to support 10E cards. I don't remember what was going on around the time they unbanned Protoss. But I think Protoss deserves to be back on the ban list. Next card that I think that would be a great hit for the Risle deck, in my opinion. And this is kind of a hot take, but I think that they should definitely, I would want them to ban Duo Drive. honestly. I think that dual drive is insane. We have Star Risle in order to get, we have Star Risle in order to give the deck access to the spell and trap cards already. I don't think that dual drive being able to search 2 cards from the deck is fair at all. Sure, you can keep Detonator, you can keep Banshee, you can keep Gallant Granite, you can keep like the utility rank 4s that are not Risle cards, but I think dual drive being able to turn any 2 level 4s into access to 2 Risle cards is really insane. And again, unlike the Malice hit, I think we're trying to finally remove these decks from the format as a whole. I think that X Risle as a board breaking card is still incredibly strong. Being able to search a sword and then make a rank 4 is cool. I just don't think that that 4 should be dual drive. I think that it's cool if it's a Detonator. Like, Detonator is a fine card at 1. I think that it doesn't need to move up to 2 or 3. But I think that having a Detonator in like a rank 4 deck, or a deck that wants to utilize the Risle cards as a mini engine in order to like break boards, search things. We've already seen that kind of in Vanquish Soul, where they're playing like, some lists are playing like 2x 1 sword in order to like board break a little bit, and then either make a Detonator or make like a Dempsey in order to search your Raisin. I think that those options should still exist. I think that the Risle cards are cool, and they're splashable. But I do think that dual drive is a little bit too powerful for what we have going on right now. Alternatively, and I'm giving a lot of alternatives, I think if you don't want to ban dual drive, if you want Risle to still be playable potentially as a peer deck, I think the only other card that is worth banning in that deck is Cross. I think you either ban dual drive or you ban Cross. One of the two has to go. But I think that without Cross, the Risle pure deck is almost, I don't want to say unplayable, but it's really low power level. Just having like a Detonator pass, basically, that's all you're able to do. But I think that banning dual drive is fine. I think that pure Risle can still function without dual drive. You have enough engine. I wouldn't hit any of Risle's engine anymore. You still have 3 7th Ascension, 3 7 Tachyon. You still can play Risle as a sub-engine in decks like Mitsurugi, where you can get access to King of the Fair Limps and still have access to Detonator afterwards. I think those options are fine, but I do think that dual drive needs to go. As for Mitsurugi, which I think that's something that not a lot of people are talking about, I only think there are 2 cards that realistically can be hit on Mitsurugi, unless you just like straight up ban a card. But I don't think Mirakumo or Habakiri or any of the Mitsurugi cards should be banned. I think the Mitsurugi engine slash deck is, we have to give Konami like claps and praise. Like, they actually did it. They made a good TCG exclusive for the first time in forever. I don't remember the last time we had a good TCG exclusive since like, I'm pretty sure Danger. Maybe I'm missing something in between them, but this has honestly probably been the best TCG exclusive since Dangers, which was back in 2019, 2018. But yeah, Mitsurugi is great in my opinion. I don't want to kill the deck, but I do want to hurt the deck's consistency a little bit. I think that the looping of prayers in Mirakumo is very obnoxious, and I think that it's not very fun to play against. I don't want to hit Habakiri. I think Habakiri is a great starter for the deck, and I think that it should probably stay at 3. It's a once per duel. Once they resolve the first Habakiri, it's cool, it's calm. But I do think that prayers should go to 1. I think that the whole looping of Mirakumo and prayers, like every time you go like prayers, tribute Mirakumo, blow up the board, search another prayers to do it again on the next turn, I think that that whole loop needs to be cut off a little bit. I think that a pure Mitsurugi deck can still play with 1 prayers. I don't think it changes much for a pure Mitsurugi deck. You still have multiple copies of Ritual. They play multiple Mirakumos. You still have the other spells like Magatama and Great Purification to bring back stuff. But I think that hitting the prayers to 1 definitely slows down this deck a lot as an engine, as a splashable engine, and I think it puts it in a place where it can be healthy going forward. Again, I'm not trying to ban King of the Fair Limb, so maybe like a Risle Mitsu deck can still work without dual drive. You still have the Risle cards as a good backbone to get you into King of the Fair Limbs. You still have cards like Dugaris. You still have cards like Gallant Granite. I don't want to hit any of those cards. Banshee, I don't want to hit any of those cards. I think that having Risle as like an engine to get you to generic rank 4s to get you to other archetypes is cool. I just don't want you to be able to get to more Risle cards and then do that after getting to Cross and everything off of a dual drive. Like, I feel like that's really not what we want to do here. Also for the ban section, this card also needs to go. Water barrier statue of the torrent. Yeah, Mermail, not a very fun deck to play against. They got rid of some of the hand looping, or not really, they didn't even get rid of the hand looping access. They got some of the negating aspect of the deck on the last ban list, banning Totally Awesome, I believe, or Bahamas Shark. It was Bahamas Shark. They banned Bahamas Shark, but I think that all of them just switched to Barrier Statue, which was the other win condition. I think that the hand ripping is not too bad, because Minstrel is just till the end phase, and then Moulin Glacier is just ripping 2 random cards, and then that's about it. But I don't like the fact that they can rip a card from your hand, shuffle it back into the deck, and summon, or give it back to you and then summon a Floodgate from the deck. I think that this card also needs to go, like, badly. As for the rest of the, in my opinion, I don't think much else really has to change. I think that these cards are really the cards that I would like to see get hit. Everything else is kind of just wish list. I would want to see, honestly, I would want to see Tactics hit the ban list. I think that this card should be banned. I also think that Crossout should be banned. Same thing with Call by the Grave. I think that these 3 cards should be banned. Do I think that they're going to get banned? No, I don't think that they're going to get banned. I think that Konami is going to keep them in the game. I think that Thrust without Tactics feels a little bit, even though Thrust is broken, I think Thrust without Tactics feels a little bit lackluster. I think that Crossout is very format dependent, and I think that Call by the Grave is just a staple card. So I don't think that those cards are going to get hit, but I would like to see them gone. I think that they help combo decks just play through hand traps. I've been saying it a lot, make hand traps great again. I think that hand traps need to be able to stop the opponent. I don't think that Charmies are a good way to do that. I don't think drawing cards and adding bricks to your deck are a good way to do it, but I do think that we need hand traps to actually be effective if that's one of the ways that we are going to be able to interact with the opponent when they're going first. I like the new idea of having archetype hand traps in turn 0 plays. I think we need more of that, but I think that these cards being gone will definitely help promote that type of interactive gameplay. As for stuff that I would want to see come off the ban list, honestly, there's nothing really that can come off the ban list that is incredibly impactful without it being too powerful. Like, for instance, a card like I would personally want to see come off the ban list that I think is like cool is Spiral Master Plan. I think that this card coming back is a little bit crazy. It would be too strong. I think that the Spiral engine is still good in 2025. Funny enough, like the cards are just high quality Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I think anytime a card like Drones is in the format where you're looking at your opponent's deck is already toxic enough. We already have like the new K9 card coming out that just looks at your hand for free. So I don't like looking at the opponent's hand, things of that sort. I don't think that that's very good for the game. Someone in my chat is saying Gimmick Puppet of Nightmare. Nah, I don't think that Gimmick Puppet of Nightmare needs to get hit. And as for the Fiendsmith engine, I don't think that the Fiendsmith engine needs to get hit either. I think that Konami has done a really good job at allowing engines to phase out in the TCG, as opposed to the OCG where they hit Fiendsmith, they hit Kashtira, they hit Adventure. TCG Konami usually just lets these engines get phased out with the time, and I think that through little hits, mainly the banning of Lacrima and Beatrice, I think that the Fiendsmith engine is in a pretty good spot right now, and it's helpful to some of the decks that are a little bit underpowered, but it's a good generic engine for decks to get access to. So I think that these cards existing are not an issue anymore, and I don't think that they need to get hit on the ban list, in all honesty. Another card that I would love to see come back, and I think should honestly be in the game, is Red Reboot. I know some of like the trap players in my chat are gonna be up at arms, but I think Red Reboot should honestly come back. I think that this card, I think that going second in like trap decks and like Floodgates, I think that we need more cards in order to beat those. Same thing with Heavy Storm. I'm really upset we didn't get back Heavy Storm on the last ban list, but I think that we're gonna get it back on this ban list. Same thing with Summon Sorcerers. These are just like other cards that like Summon Sorcerers got nerfed, so I don't even think it's an issue. It can honestly come back. But I think Red Reboot And Heavy Storm should be back in the game, in my opinion. Sacred Tree to 3. Someone in my chat is saying, I don't even think that this matters. High key. Yeah, sure. Sacred Tree could be at 3. I don't think it makes any difference. But as for the impactful things, Prayers needs to go to 1 or Habakiri. I want these 3 cards to get banned, but I don't think they'll get banned. These hits need to happen, honestly. Mainly, I would say the most important one is this. And then after that, in importance, I would say it's like this. In this order. But I think that these 3 cards actually need to get hit. This slash White Binder. Risle, if Konami didn't hit Risle, I think people would complain because Risle needs to get hit because it's still extremely powerful, but it's definitely a lot weaker right now than I would say Malice is. And even though Mermail isn't seeing a ton of play, it's still a toxic deck to play against. As for when we expect the list, we should hopefully Monday, right? Because the World Championship is this weekend. We were promised a ban list after Worlds. So hopefully we get a ban list on Monday. That would be really good because I am hosting a post Doom of Dimensions tournament that I want to be able to start next Friday or sometime during the week, but I'm really just holding on for like a ban list. Dryden, we have Detonator. Like Dryden doesn't matter. Dryden can come off the list. I don't think it matters at all. But yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.